So today's question is, did you start programming early in life, Tenek?
No. We first have to define what is early. Well, what is early? 13 years old, 14 years old? Because I didn't start early. I started at 19 years of age in college.
19. Okay.
Or you have to define early as in, what is early as in, did you learn in high school? Did you learn it in earlier, even earlier than that? But for me, I started in college without any pre-knowledge about it. And I don't think you need to. I think you need to start learning to program early, but I personally didn't, and I didn't. It has never really impeded me, really.
Okay, I totally get that, and it's totally reasonable to ask what is early. And I think we can also go down the question and ask, is it bad if you learn programming when you are older, in the sense of you are 18 plus or something? Or the other way, is it better the earlier you learn programming, the better?
I think it's better. I think it's better, but not needed, because you might still learn. You might be able to learn early, but that doesn't mean that over the years you'll become better, because I know from real life experience. Next week there will be a Russian girl joining my company who has started learning programming 6 months ago, and she learned a lot about Swift and making.
Oh, you mean for real?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, that's a real example. And she's probably over 20 already, and she started. I had in my previous company a woman who learned Android within 6 months, and she was older than I am, and I think at this point she's an even better developer than I am. So you don't need to start early. You just need, if you want to learn something, you just have to start.
True.
There's not always an advantage in starting early.
Well, I think there is, because people or children, it is said that they learn things faster, right?
Yeah.
That's why children can learn languages so fast, right? And old people, like if I would ask my father, why don't you learn more English? He's like, man, I'm old. I'm so slow in learning. I can't do that anymore. That's why I think the earlier you do that, and it's the same, it correlates with the topic which we had before, which is the quote from Steve Jobs. What was it again?
Everyone should learn how to program. It teaches you how to think.
Exactly, because then you learn how to think logical, and I think the earlier you do that, the better. But it's not bad if you do it at a late point, because I also started learning programming 10 years ago. So it was when I was 18. But I just learned the programming language R because I was studying biotechnology, and I was sick of doing all those protocols for chemistry and all this stuff. And then I just got in touch with Ubuntu and learned R. And I was like, man, this is so cool. I need to do that. And then I started learning C, C++, Java, which I still hate. Yes, I hate it. And then I went into Python and JavaScript. Yeah, so that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. There is an advantage. I just personally don't believe that not everyone will turn out to be a good developer in the end.
Yeah.
I think if you want to deep dive all complex into it, like, okay, you start early, but and now you're fast forward 10 years later. Have you really? Maybe you've learned how to think, but can you really deliver? And when you work, that's a totally different topic. So for me, if I had to take myself as a prime example, and the two women I've mentioned who've done it in half a year, got a job, and made it, and one of them I consider even better than myself, even though I went to college, etc. You don't need to, but it helps. It could help. There's a big chance it'll help you. That I do agree on that. It could benefit you.
Yeah, that's why I totally agree on that as well. It depends on you. So starting is one thing, and doing it is another thing, and staying in it also is the third part of that one. That's why don't feel bad if you're old. I mean, everything below 40, 50 is still young, I would say. And if you're even around 20 or 30, just do it. And you still can change. And that's why do it. And thank you, Lena Marie Moore, for this question. And see you in the next episode. Say your last famous words, Tanik.
Would you like a cheeseburger?